Let's review Valkyria Chronicles 2, created by Sega exclusively for the PlayStation Portable. This is a sequel to Valkyria Chronicles for the PlayStation 3, which is one of my favorite games. Sadly, I brushed off this game until now because the PlayStation Portable was slightly underpowered and I didn't want to play what I thought was going to be a watered-down experience. Today, I understand that graphics aren't everything, and I'm glad I played this game. This game is massive, with the main campaign clocking easily over 40 hours. The presentation and polish are top-notch, and it doesn't feel like it's cutting any corners from a AAA experience. This game is a war simulation game that takes place in a universe loosely based in the 1930s Europe, where students are in a war academy engaged in a civil war. Each playable unit is a fully fleshed out classmate with their unique look, personality, trait, and story. The game really revolves around the personality of our characters, and it's a load of fun listening to their skits and their comments while on the battlefield. The art is amazing, and the music is masterful. The gameplay combines elements of RPG, real-time strategy, turn-based strategy, and even a shooter. It's a very unique system that is well balanced, thoughtful, and well put together. It really makes you think and makes each action unique and meaningful instead of routine. You have 6 types of units, which are Tank, Scout, Shock Trooper, Lancer, Engineer, and Armored Tech. Tanks are your strongest unit, but you only get one in the game. You can consider the tank like your queen in a chess game. Because you only have one tank, you have to strategically place it on the map. Scouts can run very far and spot enemy units that are hiding. Shock troopers do the highest damage against enemy troops, but have limited range and running distance. Lancers can blow up armored units like tanks and bunkers. Engineers can heal other units, repair tanks, and restock grenades for your other units. They also travel pretty far, but less than scouts. Armored Tech can disarm mines and carry a sword and shield instead of a gun. Their shields can protect them from fire, so they have very high defense, especially in the front. All these units are very useful and complement each other, making the gameplay very exciting. What's also interesting are terrain elements such as sandbags, grass, terrain effects, and time of day. Each has an effect on your unit and changes your strategy. For example, nighttime can make it harder to spot units and lower your accuracy, but you can use it to your advantage. If you equip a lamp on your tank, you will negate the night effect on your units, while the enemies still suffer from it. There are other terrain effects like snowstorms, mist, mud, lightning, and poison. All of these effects are very substantial, but they can be overcome with careful planning. Knowing the terrain, encountering or using it to your advantage is a vital part of success. Camps are a vital part of the game. Capturing camps is often the main objective. You can deploy units at your camp, and the enemy can deploy units at their camps. If you capture a camp, you can deploy units from that camp. But if the enemy captures your camp, you can no longer deploy from that camp, but the enemy can. In order to capture a camp, there must be no enemy that is alive in the camp area, and you have to go to the flag to claim it. There is an enemy, you must push them out or defeat them before you can claim the camp, and vice versa for enemies claiming your camps. Your active unit can retreat when in a camp in order to leave the map and get their health and ammo restocked. I wasn't even able to experience the most impressive aspect of the game, which is the local multiplayer. The maps are all designed with multiplayer in mind, each with 2 different deploy zones. I feel if you have someone to play with, this game will shine even brighter. Let's talk about the limitation difference between this game and the original. Of course, due to the low hardware and the screen resolution, the graphics are quite a step down, but you don't miss it after playing this game for a while. Instead of being one large map, the map is now divided into instance zones, with the camp serving as teleportation between zones. This division is likely due to hardware limitations as well as for multiplayer purposes. The skits are now in 2D portraits instead of animated 3D models. Still, the game does its best to animate the location of the portraits to mimic movement and even actions, such as tilting or shaking the portraits. There are very few in-game cutscenes, with only a few anime pre-rendered cutscenes. All these changes might bother you if you played the first game, but after playing this game, I feel they successfully designed around the limitations. One weakness of the game is that the enemy AI is very unintelligent, even more than the original game. Often, the enemy would make questionable decisions, but the game compensates by throwing more enemies at you. The game loves to spawn enemies from the camp in order to keep the challenge fresh. There are some really tough units, such as the V2, bunkers, and turret towers. It's not too bad though, because the game feels balanced. It's like the game knows its weakness and is designing around it. There are other weaknesses, such as difficulty selecting the unit you want if too many units are close together on the minimap. There is a bit of randomness when obtaining class change items, so if you're looking for a class change item for a particular character, you will have to grind. Overall, this game is a masterpiece, but perhaps not so much as the first. If you haven't played the first, I would suggest you to do so. If you like it, you can give this one a try. It won't disappoint. Thanks for watching and happy gaming.